Yo, g'day. This is Dazza. And that's the VE20 vocal processor on the dynamic mic. I want to say g'day to Mick. Mick's an old mate of mine from school, from back in the day, from playing in bands. Mick was the first guy to teach me about tablature and guitar in high school. It's good to have you back, just in contact, man. So thanks, appreciate it. And I want to talk you through what I'm kind of doing here. I've got it set up basically like a band. There's drums, there's a bass player, which is kind of either the modular rig or the Moog Sub 37. So drums, bass, and then mid-range sounds, which can be the keyboard or the guitar, and then vocals on top. Everything is being mixed through the RC505 Mark II loop station up here, which has got 5 lanes where I can overdub. I could do a whole show with just the keyboard and the looper, but I get bored of the same type of sounds and I want variety. So I have this set up this way where basically this is the main rig and the Sub 37 is there, which can do lead sounds or bass sounds. It's a mono synth, so it's basically one note at a time, or there's 2 oscillators in there and you can actually separate them, play them separately. And it's just really fun to play with. And the factory presets in there are quite good. And the second half of the presets, I'm trying to make my own presets there. On this side is like my sub mix. So this is like all the extra stuff on this side. And the way it's set up at the moment, I've got a system that kind of works where I'm familiar with everything. And what I do is I just try to make little changes at a time, so I'm not having to deal with like multiple complex new learning. For example, I've got 2 new guitars in the last 6 months and I'm integrating them and they're very different. The Fender Strat is like a factory Stratocaster and it's set up by a Plek machine and it feels really professional, whereas this is a parts caster, Telecaster, put together by a friend of mine, and then I've added parts to it like the neck, and we're still getting it set up. The selector switch is still giving me a problem, and this thing is like, this is really different play to the professionalism of the Stratocaster. This one's like got its own sound. It doesn't even really sound like a Telecaster because it's got the treble bleed circuit on here, and it's got the roasted maple neck, which is just really like twangy and quite strange. It's just something I'm not familiar with, and I'm always getting used to this one and the way it holds in my hand, and I'm always learning about guitar techniques. I'm learning in all these different areas, and I'd say vocals are the most important thing. It's the thing the audience is really listening to, and I'm trying to layer my voice. Obviously I've got these 2 microphones. The condenser obviously needs power. This one's going straight to the looper via the vocal processor, whereas this one's going into the sub mix. It's going through a desk here, and I can add other microphones here. I've actually got a spare microphone slot up in the looper as well, so I can run the headset mic to there as well. Sometimes I wear the headset to be hands-free. I should have headphones on and not have these speakers open, but I'd much rather listen in the room, even though I'm constantly having to avoid feedback because the mics are so close to these near-field monitors, which are Yamaha MSP7s with a HS8 subwoofer down the bottom. There's 3 speakers in the room. Obviously, the sound of the room is probably the most important thing here because that's affecting, reverb on the mics. The mics are picking up speaker sound. You end up with a room sound in the recordings. So in the submix here, for example, I've added the MC808. The main brain here is the Arturia BeatStep Pro. It's got 3 lanes, two synth lanes and a drum lane. The drum lane is triggering the RD8 so that I can just type the patterns into here to trigger the drums, and that goes through the submix. The submix here is going through a Behringer sonic exciter, so it's getting like some sonic stimulation, and then it's going into a compressor over here, an RNC 1773, and that's another thing. Like, I'm learning about compression. I don't really understand it. I don't really hear it, and different compressors work differently. Like, I've got an Alesis 3630 over there, and I'm going to substitute that in for the other one and just play around with the 2 of them. That's what I'll do. Like, I'll spend 6 months just with one compressor and then swap over the other to sort of hear the difference until I get really clear about what I'm doing and what purpose they serve. And the whole time I'm just trying to lift my game. And that includes with the camera as well. The camera, the lighting, my presentation, eye contact with the camera, and projecting And then it comes down to the material. Am I singing songs or am I just having a loose jam? And how do I make that interesting for the audience? And what is worth putting out there that's for posterity on the internet, even after you die, it's still there, kind of thing. And there's a whole other side to me that has been doing sound therapy and sound for relaxation. So I'm working these two quadrants. Like as the Intergalactic Federation, I'm kind of doing music for fun, but my business is registered as sound therapy. And I apply that mainly through teaching music, sort of enhancing the life of my students through the joy of understanding what music and sound is. And through teaching them, I'm learning a lot. I'm just always learning and expanding my knowledge. And I know, like, you'll never get there. It's just a journey of learning and expanding. Okay, so on this submix, I've got the modular rig here, and the modular is set up with one oscillator down the center of the field. I'll show you this in a second. And then the other lane out of the BeatStep Pro is triggering an oscillator in either speaker. And I normally have an LFO going in reverse directions on the filter of left and right oscillator. So you'll often, when I've got that operating, you'll hear the sound kind of wobble from one side to the other. It sort of seesaws across, just because I find that amusing. Even though technically you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't want to hear that in a nightclub or anything, because it would put the sound off balance. The stereo balance, the phase alignment of the left and right would be out. And I'm doing that on purpose, just because it amuses me. I enjoy being able to amuse myself. There's no point in doing this if it's not fun to do. Yeah, and that includes songwriting. Like, what am I going to write? What do I write songs about? Like, what's a good subject for a song? Do I write about my pain and what I've been through, or girlfriend, boyfriendy relationships? When in the 21st century, I find that really infantile, and I think we can yearn for more and create more and discuss more, especially in the age of censorship and internet control. So I'll go through this in a sec. I'll show you the oscillators and what they sound like and what they're doing. And then just one last thing off the submix, which is just a mixing desk. This is an analog desk. I've got a couple of desks, and that's another thing. I substitute in other desks, for 6 months and see what they sound like, and then swap them over. And some things get old and have to be either repaired or thrown out. I try not to have too much clutter around. I typically get sentimentally attached to equipment, and it gets stuck in my bedroom or the cupboard for years, and that's a really bad habit. I mean, there's stuff under the stairs that I've made videos about, and it's still under the stairs. I had to get it fumigated at one point because there was just an ant infestation in some of the equipment, which is, I don't know, a mental problem, maybe? Like I say, what's the motivation here? Just off this desk here, I'm running 2 Strymon effects. One is reverb, the Blue Sky reverb. The other is the El Capistan tape delay. And so anything going into this desk can be sent to those things. And sometimes I put them in series on one send, and I'll send the other send to the guitar pedals, which are on the floor down here. I've got a wah pedal, a fuzz pedal, a TC electronic force field compressor, an MXR phase 90. I've got 2 of those, but only one's running at the moment. The other one's sitting over there. Because I've got a noise gate here, I'll get rid of that noise gate. I'll put the other phase 90 in there. And that ends with a Zoom multi-stomp MS70 CDR, which is doing reverb and delay. But I prefer to have the Strymon effects on the guitar, and I want to replace those with Eventide effects. I really think Eventide effects on the sends here will be way better for that job, because these really are guitar effects and they sound so good on guitar. There's also a microgranny sampler up here, and that's going into a monotron delay, and that just is like audio chaos. It's an 8-bit sampler that you can easily distort into just a mess, and the monotron delay is notoriously dirty and gritty, to just put extra texture on top of things when things are going along. Yeah, so enough talking. I will just fix up this these pedals. I was running a noise gate there, but now I've got two MXR phase 90s, and they're both different. One was really, really nice, and it got broken. I put the wrong power in it and damaged it, and I've had it repaired. See, this switch is cutting out there. I've had it repaired, but it hasn't really come back to what it needs to be. Okay. right, so I've got a tune up here. I've got this tuner up here. I put it on the microphone setting, and I'll just check the Moog first. Now that's on a really dirty setting there. That was a preset. And it's a little bit sharp because I've been in standard tuning. That's why I have to take everything out of standard tuning down to 432. So 432 is about 30 cents lower than standard tuning. Probably in the middle of a jam. So I just trigger that. Now I'm just opening the gate. This is the oscillator that goes down the middle, and I can see it's a bit sharp. And I'll just get this. That's the sawtooth wave there, and the filter is running up and down, and it's got lots of resonance. I'll open the filter. That's the raw sawtooth wave, and it's telling me it's sharp. About there, and compare that to the A over here. And they're each just a little bit off, which is always interesting. I'll turn that one down. I'll go to my yellow lane here. That was the green lane. This is the yellow lane. On my last jam, I was obviously using a lot of resonance on the filter here. There's noise and another oscillator. And that's actually accurate. Okay. Turn that one down, and I'll go to the other one. Just got massive resonance too. Close that resonance down, open the filter, turn off the noise, turn off the second oscillator going in there. And you can probably hear that one is in the middle one. One should be in one speaker. To be honest, that's just one oscillator there. That should be the right oscillator. Okay, and this is the left oscillator. And they're just phasing slightly because they're not tuned perfectly. And the way I've got this set up, I've got a noise source and a square wave. That square wave is being modulated. So there was pulse width modulation on that. I've turned that off. And the sawtooth waves here. Oh no, that's a triangle wave. Okay, so the triangle wave, so it's going to add extra sort of beef underneath the square wave, which is there. And then normally you just sort of close the filter down, put your modulation on your filter. The modulation on the filter is coming from an envelope and an LFO. So that's the left and right speaker. I'll see what happens when I pan those. We've got left, right, and left. And I'll give you an example of the alternating LFOs on them. So one is opening while the other is closing. Right, so it goes left to right. You can hear this much more in headphones. And if I turn up the resonance and turn down the modulation, and then you've got the middle oscillator here. Oscillator's got its own LFO. And I'll bring in pulse width modulation and noise. And this one. Close the filter on this one. And bring back the other waveforms. And add some delay and reverb. And it's very easy to overdo it all. And we've got, I think this is, I'm tuning an A. So we've got the guitar here. Yep. I think that'll do for tuning, but as they warm up in about half an hour, it's probably worth rechecking the tuning. I've had some weird things, especially with the modular, where tuning just raises, elevates over time. I don't really know why. Got a wah pedal down here. Got a compressor. And then I've got an amp simulator in the Montage 7 here. I'll put the first phase 90 and the second one. You can't even really hear that. The drive is happening because the compressor pedals raise the volume, which is going into the amp simulator. Just mellow that compressor out. And if I put some delay there. The MS-70 CDR by Zoom is doing delay. It's got an exciter in it and it's got reverb as well. And those are all on. Turn the monitor on delay. There's this microphone. Can I hear myself on this one? Yep. Delay on this one. Pop the micro granny on. Now there's some astronauts talking in the background underneath the filter of the monotron delay. The montage can be looped without looping any of that, or things from the submix can be looped on their own, and the microphones can all be looped individually as well, or it can loop everything all together. Quieten those noisy astronauts down. Put them under a filter. And then it becomes a matter of what am I going to play? So I've been writing lyrics, so I have some songs, and I'll try and put this in A. So what I try and do with my presets is have them in a key. So if I have a song in A, like this song is written in G, but because I'm already in A, I'll select a preset in the beat step which will make a pattern in A, and then you'll hear that rhythm come in. I'll bring in the I don't even know what key this is in. I'll just have to figure it out once it's playing. And then I have to get my voice dialed in so that that presents well. Usually, if you put a big echo on your voice, it'll sound interesting. Leaving propaganda. Don't think for yourself. Work hard, pay taxes, and do it till you die. Just go away. You got nothing to say. attention control. Believe in television, blindly trust the advertising pop another pill. Everyone's doing it still. Lockdown, baby, have been all along. Electrochemical prison, social media division. Windows to your soul. Watch another movie, let the flu rot your brain. Just drink something and attack the messenger. It's time to sing along. Country radio, play a song you want to take home. Country radio, all night long. You can sing along. Faith and death and taxes. What's better than one drum machine? 3 drum machines. There's drums from up here, there's drums from the RD8, there's drums from the MC808. And none of them sound particularly good. We pay the national debt. Wear synthetic clothes, eat modified goods. What the hell could go wrong? Faith and death and taxes, corporate propaganda. We pay the national debt. Wear synthetic clothes, eat modified foods. What the hell could go wrong? Just keep singing the song. Country radio, play a song, it won't take long. Country radio, all night long. You can sing along. Supermarket billboard, a little bit of the mood there. The other country's bad. On the supermarket billboard, the other country's bad. Now let's go to war. Lest we forget, the wars are running by propaganda and the cost for cash. And the cost for money. Radio, play a song, it won't take long. Country radio, all night long. You can sing along. Country radio. Controlling the tone of the guitar with the wow, obviously. And that fuzz is probably pushing too hard, too loud. Country radio, play a song, it won't take long. Tell me now. Country radio, all night long. just fade that out. Thanks for listening, guys. That was fun. I never know what the recording's going to ultimately sound like until we're looking at it later on, but you can kind of tell by feel. Like if you enjoyed doing the recording, you were kind of on the money. And obviously there's a fair bit invested in all of this, and it's taken time to develop. But the main thing is the interface, proximity, and the software. Where's all that noise coming from? See, I don't even know what's making that arpeggiator was still running on there. Okay, I'll put that back to the less delay. That off. Turn this down to get rid of all the hum out of the system, because it drives me nuts when that noise floor is too much. So without the guitar and without that MC808, the noise floor is not too bad, right? It's only because I've added these extra things in, and the guitar is probably this noisy because of the effects pedals. If I ran it straight into the montage, I'll get a more pure signal. Okay, a couple of things. The interface, the audio interface, and Cubase in the computer. That's where you're getting your recording. That's the finished product. Everything else is just feeding into that, and there's a limited range of sounds can fit in there. You can only go up to 0 dB, and so if you're adding things in, you've got to remove things, and that can be across the frequency spectrum. So I kind of work with a picture of that in mind. So there's the analytic process of thinking and understanding all these things, and then there's the artistic process of letting go and allowing the machines to run and have their own personality, and then you're just guiding them. And then you find those moments of, oh, like that's magic, that's really cool. And being able to express myself vocally, I don't think I was ever able to do that when I was younger, so I've had to learn that. I've had a teacher help me open my voice up. The only other thing I haven't mentioned in this whole process is the MIDI signal that's coming out of the RC505 into a splitter. I'm using a MIDI Solutions Quadra through, but so this has got 1 in, 4 out, and it's going to anything that needs a clock, anything that needs a start signal and a clock, so it's all tempo synced, and that would be the Arturia BeatStep Pro. It's in charge of the other machines here. The MC808 is getting a MIDI signal. The Sub 37 gets its own MIDI input, so the arpeggiator will sync to clock, and the Montage 7, and that's the 4 of them that I'm running at the moment. The Micro Granny gets a MIDI signal, so it's tempo synced as well, but that's piggybacking off of the RD8, I think, or something. And there's USB cable into the computer, obviously, the laptop, and then I have to bounce the video off the cards into the computer and then match the audio to the video and then edit the video so it's kind of more entertaining to watch. All right, man. I think I've covered just about everything there. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. It's an interesting process and I really enjoy it, and I couldn't do this without the love and the support of my family. To be quite honest with you, that is the truth, and that's a reciprocal relationship that I have in my personal life that allows all of this to happen. And it started with that piano when I was a teenager, and the piano's still in good condition. It's a Yamaha piano. This is a Yamaha keyboard. Cubase is owned by Yamaha. The speakers are Yamaha. Yamaha Roland. This is Roland modules designed by Maleko, Heavy Industries. There's a little bit of Behringer with the RD8 and the Sonic Exciter. Arturia, they're good at sequences. And the BeatStep Pro is fun to program. It's an easy, fun one to play with, and it gives me quick access to things like drums and bass patterns and things. And I have to spend time putting presets in there and making sure they're arranged where they're easy accessible in the key that I want, that they'll work no matter what I'm playing, as long as it's in the key of B or A or whatever. And then presets in the Yamaha. The Yamaha is really complex and deep to program, to the point of I haven't really even gone that far in there. It just gives me a headache programming the Yamaha. And I use a lot of the presets in here. It's got a whole range of sounds, like, here's a pad sound. The volume was down because I was turning the guitar down before, but it'll have like these pads. And you turn the knob and it changes multiple parameters. It's got FM sounds. control that super knob, which is like a macro control, with my foot. Just as a demo, that doesn't really sit together, but you can see like just there's a groove just waiting to happen, and all I've got to do is loop that in. One of the challenges is to not get stuck in the loops too much and to keep the song evolving in a new direction. Sometimes it might go over 8 minutes, it might go over 20 minutes. And if I say 8 minutes, you can think of that as like 2 or 3 mini songs within the one, and you don't want to repeat too much. You can see in videos where I'm looping that, and I'm creating the loops on the fly, especially if I make an error with a loop, it just drags the whole thing out. I generally post the whole thing without editing because I haven't got it synced into Cubase. So if I go to edit in Cubase, I have to like guess where the cut is, or when I'm editing the video, I'm not editing to a click track or a tempo map, beats and bars in a timeline. And that's something I'd like to fix up, because I'd like to be able to cut the audio on the beat and so on, and then just cut and paste bits around. I could do a lot more editing that way. What I need to do is have the 505 sending clock into the computer as it's recording everything, but then I might lose the ability to change the tempo of the 505 on the fly. With something like Ableton, I might be able to change the tempo here, and it changes the tempo in Ableton as I'm playing and recording. However, I find Cubase really stable and reliable. I'm using it like a tape recorder so that I don't get bogged down in Ableton. And the only other thing that I don't know what else I've left out. Like this has been really thorough today. The other thing is mastering the audio. So sometimes I'll put some saturation, some limiting, basically volume boost on it, or I'll run it through Waves AI mastering, because I've got like I've paid some money there to get like, it's about $3 a song, and I'll put down $60 and get 15 songs mastered or something, and just use it whenever I think, oh yeah, that's a good take. I'll put the AI mastering on it, because I feel like I can trust it better than I can trust my own ears and my own judgment, because I'm not listening in a proper room or anything. I'm just guessing at what should sound good. And my main thing lately has been to just post the audio that I've recorded without any changes, so that at the other end you're listening to basically what I'm listening to here, other than it being affected by YouTube, because it will put limits on how loud it can be, or at your end you might have EQ, or you might have like voice, audio that focuses on the voice and such. There's settings in YouTube that can function like that. All right, that's it. Thanks for letting me talk your ears off. So any questions, fire away. And I've been Dazza from Down Under, the InterGalactic Federation, aka Soultone Systems, which is a second channel that I'm going to develop, which will be focused around health and healing and therapy and sobriety. Okay, right.